let me just say it is official. We're gonna take a look at this. We're gonna watch it, then we're gonna break everything down from there, okay? All right, an update from game director Joe Blackburn. Let's watch this. This just dropped, by the way, like 6 minutes ago.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Blackburn, the game director for Destiny 2. I'm sure with the announcement today that the final shape is coming out on June 4th, there are a lot of questions on, hey, what's the team working on? What's the content that's coming out before June? So I wanted to step by down here in the stream room today and drop by with some classic Joe handwritten notes and talk about what we're doing between now and June. I think this is gonna be a pretty short video, so I wanna get right into it. Let's start with the obvious stuff. Tomorrow, Season of the Wish launches. We're super excited, not only about the story and the content of this season, but how it's going to roll into the final shape. So I hope the small army of you out there with your Last Wish raid jackets are wearing them with pride. I know I will be. Then, on Friday, we've got Warlord's Ruin. It's a new dungeon coming to Destiny 2 that I would love to talk to you all about, but because I'm at the studio, I'm like a little worried that someone from the Raid and Dungeon team is gonna hear me and like come barreling through the door. So we'll let you all see that for yourselves. Speaking of group content, let's talk Fireteam Finder real quick. Recently, we put out some messaging on how Fireteam Finder is going to roll out. I just wanted to give a little more context here. I don't think this is hyperbole when I say I think Fireteam Finder is going to change the way so many of you interact with Destiny 2 on a day-to-day basis. That being said, it's a pretty big technical change to the game. So I want to be really careful with how we roll this out. We're going to be doing limited windows with limited activities to start. This is going to allow us to collect the data we need, take it on, see how server stability is affected, take it off, make changes, and then roll it out better and better each time. Ultimately, what we're going to be working towards is a version of Fireteam Finder that you can use for raids, dungeons, strikes, PvP, whatever you want that needs a group in the new year and right before the final shape. PvP. So last time we talked a bunch about PvP. I just wanted to give an update on where we are. We've got a Crucible Labs mode that we've been experimenting a lot with called Checkmate. We're gonna do two things with Checkmate this year. We're gonna take Checkmate and put it onto the core Crucible playlists. It's gonna be like 6v6 control unranked. We wanna see how the Checkmate rules that we've been experimenting with interact with a larger Crucible ecosystem. But ultimately, what we're trying to do with Checkmate is not create a third or a fourth way to play the game. Checkmate is all about a more deliberate Crucible. So we want to take the rule changes for Checkmate, be this slower ability recharge rate, or different rules around special ammo. We want to find the stuff that's working, and we want to start porting those rule changes over into the core Destiny 2 Crucible. This is about creating a Crucible that is more strategic, is more focused on your guns, and is more focused on the loadout that you're bringing in to fight with. Speaking of Crucible, let's talk maps. So not only do we have the Citadel coming to Destiny 2 this week, we also are still cranking out maps for the map pack that we talked about earlier this year. This is going to be coming out in the new year all at once. We've got 3 maps, one on Europa, one on Neomuna, and one on the Terraformed Pyramid. I actually got a chance to play test these again yesterday. I'm really excited about all of them. I think I did the best on the Europa map, but right now I think Neomuna is trending to be the sort of internal favorite. Really excited to see how all these get built and continued over development. Really excited for them to get in your hand. They're all sort of Jav 4 size. So we know we've been putting out a lot of larger maps. We want to put out maps that are going to be able to really excel in modes like Trials of Osiris and the competitive playlist to really balance out both these larger experiences and more close quarters experiences as well. Ultimately, this is not everything that we're doing in PvP, so keep your ear out for socials. We're trying to make sure that the Destiny 2 Crucible is built for those folks that love to log on and play Destiny PvP every single day. All right, let's see what's on page 2 here. I think the big question in everyone's mind is, okay, but Season of the Wish content is going to roll out. Talk to me about February through June. So starting in February, we're going to be rolling out more content that's available to anyone who plays Destiny 2. It's going to start slow in February with things like Moments of Triumph and a series of progression, reward-centric weekly quests we're calling wishes. I'll let the folks on Reddit theorize on what they think these wishes could be. Then in March, we're going to be pulling Guardian games in. And this year, it's got a revitalized focus on this sort of class v class competition that we think really is going to accelerate the creative and the excitement around the event. But ultimately, we're trying to get towards April and May. We're going to be talking about a new period of Destiny we're calling Destiny 2 Into the Light. Now, as we get closer to Into the Light, we're going to be talking more about it in the new year. But this is really built not only for the folks that have played Destiny for 5,000 hours, but also for your friends, for your family, for people that are just getting into Destiny and want to prepare for the final shape. We're really excited about the content and rewards that are coming in this. So please stay tuned. We'll be talking more about what's happening in these sort of 2 months before the final shape as we get closer to them. But all of that aside, what most of the team is working on right now is what's coming out in June, the final shape. We know there are high expectations for the way that we're going to put a bow on this 10-year saga of Destiny 2. We know that y'all are expecting awesome, gorgeous new locations, a bunch of new stuff to fight, and a bunch of new ways to fight it, all alongside a story that has to stand side by side with some of the best stories our studio has ever told. I'm going to be honest. We've been holding some cards close to our chest on this one. And I'm going to ask that you bear with us for a little bit longer, because we think a bunch of the systems and the gameplay that we want to talk about are things that you need to see, not just hear. So in April, when we come back with gameplay from the final shape, we want the game to speak for itself. All right, I promised I wouldn't take as long this time. I've got a bunch of playtests to run to. So thanks so much for spending some time with me this morning. I am going to see all of y'all this week in Season of the Wish. Thanks again. Bye.
All right, let's go over some key points from this video right here. The big one is that Bungie is officially announcing that the final shape is delayed to June the 4th. And we had some questions for weeks going on because everywhere on Bungie's websites, on the press kits, everything was still pointing to a February release. But it is confirmed here from Joe himself that the final shape is getting backed up to June the 4th. And with that being said, let's go over a few things that was listed here. Oh, there's an article. Okay, I feel like we probably need to read the article before we dive into our thoughts. Full disclosure, we had a meeting this morning. A lot of content creators had a meeting this morning with Bungie. So we saw this come. We didn't know about it we didn't know about the final shape official delay until an hour ago. The final shape release date. Hey everyone, we'll keep it short and simple. The final shape needs more time to become exactly what we want it to be. So we're moving its release date to June the 4th, 2024. There it is. Got the updated press kit, picture, all that stuff. Now, the final shape is the culmination of the first 10 years of Destiny's storytelling and, for Guardians everywhere, countless hours spent together. We want to honor that journey, so we're taking the time we need to deliver an even bigger and bolder vision, one that we hope will be remembered and treasured for years to come. Naturally, this change brings up questions about our upcoming release calendar. Season of the Wish begins tomorrow and will extend into the launch of the final shape in June. While the majority of content and narrative for Season of the Wish will run from late November to February as originally planned, the team is adding new content available for all players. Again, all players to jump into the launch of the final shape. In February, this will include new weekly progression-based quests called Wishes and the launch of Moments of Triumph with unique rewards. Next, we're moving Guardian games up to March with a refreshed focus on class versus class competition. Then, beginning in April, we're delivering a 2-month content update available to everyone called Destiny 2 Into the Light, which will prepare players for their Guardian's journey into the Traveler. All of this is in addition to the ongoing efforts from our PvP strike team, including 3 new PvP maps dropping in May. We know you're eager to get your hands on the final shape. In that sense, delays aren't fun. For our part, we are excited to have the extra time needed to bring our vision for the final shape to life for all of you. We're looking forward to sharing much more in April, including all new gameplay to showcase the significant content additions currently in development. Thanks for reading and for being on this journey with us, the Destiny 2 dev team. There's really nothing else to say about this, guys. I want to go ahead and just kind of break up a couple of things, though, as far as a roadmap goes. First up, episodes will not begin until after the final shape. Some of us were wondering, are we going to get episodes early? Like, since the final shape is getting backed up to June, will we get that first episode, which was supposed to launch in March? That's not the case. Because the episodes are narratively tied into I'm assuming, the climax of the final shape, episodes cannot begin until we have actually played the final shape, beaten the final shape, beaten the raid, beaten the witness, right? And then the episodes would follow. With that being said, though, February, we're getting something called Wishes, which makes sense considering it's Season of the Wish. The launch of Moments of Triumph will be also happening during February. Guardian Games, which is normally something that's in, I'm trying to remember the time frame. I think Guardian Games is normally in May, if I remember correctly. That's being moved up to March. So you see like the cadence of content is being moved to fill this void. But I think the biggest one that Bungie is really pitching here to fill that 2-month void will be the Into the Light. Now, again, Bungie mentions here, it's available to all players. So free-to-play players and paid players. And I'm assuming this is going to be a way to kind of just get everybody up to speed, get everybody some level of gear or probably not be the most optimal gear, but some gear to at least go into the final shape with. I think a delay is completely fine. I mean, the reality is, dude, if the final shape was to come out and it was going to be another Lightfall 2.0, it would be catastrophic. So the final shape is going to have to pop. And it's been reiterated to us multiple times via, through Joe's conversation with us, through meetings that, the final shape has to live up to that Forsaken, Taken King, Witch Queen standard. And I would argue and say that there were pros and cons to all those expansions, although more pros in the Forsaken department. I think Forsaken is obviously the clear winner in terms of quality and quantity. It's actually crazy how much content we got, not only during the launch of Forsaken, but throughout the rest of that year, right? The Taken King was really, really good for D1, but Forsaken picked it up a whole nother level by continuing to excel that content throughout the rest of the year with Black Armory, Menagerie, and however you feel about Season of the Gambit. But what I really loved about Forsaken was that Bungie was bold by pitching Gambit. I felt like they were actually being bold about a new game mode. But delays, I'm okay with delays. I don't think anyone here is upset about the delay. I'm glad that Bungie finally came and talked to us, and Joe having this one-on-one with us is really good. I kind of was expecting some sort of like Vidoc to like roll out of being like high quality trailer shoot style Vidoc of like, this is what we are working on, little small snips of what's to come with like, this is why we know we got to get it right. We weren't hitting the mark, but this is going to allow us to really refine things, right? The way Joe's looking at this and the way he's presenting this to us is that, he wants everything to be a surprise. And so he wants the content to speak for itself. All right. I'm down with that. All right. So just to let you guys know, we had a meeting this morning with Bungie. A lot of content creators were there. A lot of great questions. I normally just pretty much just chill, but a lot of great questions that everybody was asking. Some of the questions really revolved around, again, like some of the questions y'all are asking, what is happening post final shape? Those were the questions that Bungie's really didn't, they're waiting to answer those. They're waiting to reveal those. And I'm assuming there's going to be maybe some major Vidoc or something like that leading up into the final shape. Maybe we're not going to know until after the final shape, but there really was nothing being said about how episodes are going to work. I'm curious if episodes are going to bring, I think Rick actually asked this question, is episodes going to bring annual style content? Is it going to bring that level of content throughout episodes? Not every episode, but meaning, are we moving away from big annual expansions? Questions like that were not answered, and that's fine. Right now, the focus is just getting to final shape. There were some other questions, and a lot of it was just like really, I was saying like Bungie danced around it, but they didn't have like long enough to really expand on things. And really what it boils down to is that the content is just gonna have to speak for itself. And I think Bungie knows they're in a position now where the content is just gonna have to speak for itself. Both Season of the Wish, the content in February, the content in March, the Into the Light, from April and May into June. Like the content is just going to have to speak for itself. At no point in the meeting was Bungie trying to oversell the content or even, they were just like, we love it. We've played it. We've enjoyed it. We love what we're making. We're very, very confident you're going to love the final shape. But I think Bungie's in a position now where they're like, there's nothing we can really say. We need to just let the content speak speak for itself.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.